Yo, what's up guys? Today we'll be taking a close look at a chilling horror collectible, Mezco's Deluxe Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th, Part 3. Let's see what makes this figure a true slasher standout. With it being the only Friday the 13th of the year yesterday, what better way to celebrate than by unboxing this horror classic. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Jason's back and he's scarier than ever. This figure is part of Mezco's signature 6-inch super-deformed style line, capturing the essence of horror in a compact but stylized form. The packaging alone sets a tone up front. You've got a big window showing off Jason in all his masked glory, as well as his machete and his axe. The box itself has this eerie, blood-spattered purple vibe with the bold Friday the 13th logo slashed across the front. And then one side kind of shows a close-up of Jason's iconic hockey mask. And then the other side is also a close-up, but he's kind of has like the knife in his hand right there, as you guys can see. And the box overall has a dark forest-like aesthetic that totally fits the Camp Crystal Lake vibes. Even the bottom has that, the Jason Voorhees, in the classic lettering. And then you got that Friday the 13th, very classic right there. And then taking a look at the back of the box, you kind of get different images of the different ways that you can kind of pose this guy around. You do have the option of removing the mask, as you guys can see right there. And then we have the two options, or the two ways that you can display him, either holding his machete or holding that axe. And then if you guys want to go ahead and pause and go ahead and read that little description over in the back, you can go ahead and do so right there. But yeah, you also get the Mezco toys by collectors for collectors, so that's pretty cool right there. This is actually my first Mezco toys, so I'm very excited to open it up. I know that usually what I'm familiar with from Mezco is like the 1/12 scale action figures and stuff. This guy was way too cool to not purchase, so I definitely had to get him. And before we go ahead and open this guy up, I do want to show you guys the bottom of the box. That way you guys can see the barcode right there, just in case you guys are looking for him. And as you guys can see, not a toy for children, intended for adult collectors only, ages 15 plus. And then on the opposite top corner, we get the warning label as well. And as you guys can see, we get the licensing and mezcotoyz.com. But yeah, let's go ahead and open this guy up and let's see what he's all about. Of course, we got to do a tray shot to see Jason in all his full glory. Checking out the sculpt and the movement of the figure, it does have 10 points of articulation, allowing for you to set him up in creepy and iconic poses. I was surprised that a figure of this magnitude, of this style, having so many points of articulation. Starting off with his head, you can pretty much do, some rotation right there. Does the full 360. You can have his arms up in a T-pose just like that, like he's skating or something, doing an ollie. You can have him go back and forth, and he also does have the elbow movement right there. Check it out, you can do a full 360 right there. You can have him kind of in a deformed stance or whatever. You can also have him move his wrist. You can move the opposite hand right there as well. He does have a little bit of movement at the waist as well, so that's pretty cool. Can't really do much with that, but you have it just in case. And last but not least, you do get that ankle pivot as well. Don't get much out of it. I'm pretty sure you can do a full 360, but I'm not gonna do it just for the sake of keeping the figure intact. But yeah, this guy has some pretty nice articulation. This guy is also sculpted with great detail, from the weathered clothing to the intimidating body stance that they've put him in. And I gotta say, I love the subtle black wash touches that they've added on certain areas of the figure. I think that it really makes this guy pop. Now checking out his accessories, Jason comes equipped with two of his most iconic weapons, a bloodied axe and his classic machete. These are beautifully painted and give the figure some serious slasher vibes. Moving on to his face and mask, the removable hockey mask exposes Jason's gruesome scarred face, modeled after his look in part 3 of the franchise. The amount of detail really adds to the creep factor and authenticity to the figure, from the details in the mouth and then the black wash around the eyes. And then what I really dig is the glossiness in his eyes. I feel like they really make him look it really makes it look realistic, especially when he has his mask on. Then as you guys can see, he does come with that cauliflower ear, and then he has his regular ear on the other side. And then like just the oversized like head kind of gives me that bobblehead look, so I definitely dig that. And then when you put his mask on, like I said, the glossiness in the eyes really makes his eyes stand out. Check it out right there. I absolutely love that. And then the weathering on the mask and damage that they've added, I feel like is just perfect. It doesn't go too over the top, and I feel like, you know, it's a realistic amount, especially for the amount of teens that Jason has had to face. Check it out. That thing is freaking awesome. And then the details on the mask, like I said, they're there because you can see the little grooves on the leather from the strap. The focus, yeah, you can see a little bit better right there. The yellowing looks so realistic. I love it. Even the little metallic divots that it has on there, you can tell that Mezco really went out of their way and like just went in on certain parts of the figure, parts that they didn't have to go in, like those buttons. Check it out, you can see the buttons clearly, you can see the mold, it's there. The little detail on the white right there, you didn't have to add that. You got dirt on the pants right there, dirt on the boots. I don't know if the camera picks that up, but man, I absolutely dig this. You can see the seams on the pants. Oh man. And like I said before, the black touches that they've added around the figure really make this guy stand out, especially on the hands. You know, this guy has some filthy hands. Check them out right there. And then speaking of hands, they've also included this alternate hand. That way you can recreate some classic scenes, or you know, you can just have them holding both weapons if you wanted to. Now he kind of has two of these holding hands. Check it out right there. And these are really easy to pop in and out. This is the one that he comes with originally. Pops right in there. This guy is freaking awesome. Like I said, you can have him holding his machete. That's freaking cool. Let me know what you guys think. If you're a fan of horror figures like me, or a die-hard Friday the 13th collector, this Jason Voorhees Deluxe Edition is a must-have for only 35 bucks. Stylized well, articulated, and packed with killer details, it's a standout piece for any horror collection. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you guys like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.